everyone, this is Brenda 2 and this is video number 10 in the I Am series, and today I'm going to be discussing the I Am in a relationship with a misogynist. So it could be that your father is a misogynist, it could be that your brother is a misogynist, so I'm obviously talking from a woman's point of view. Or it could be that you're in a relationship, in a partnership, or married to a misogynist. So misogyny is when somebody has an inherent disrespect or contempt for women. So in that situation, they'd be very quick to degrade women, treat them with disrespect. And you in that relationship would feel the brunt of that. And so I'm talking today about the external misogynist, but it's possible to even have an internal misogynist, interestingly enough. So because we are made up of masculine and feminine aspects of self, it's possible that you could have even inherited a misogynistic streak. So you would then have an internal conflict between the masculine and feminine aspects of self. But today we're just going to be discussing being in a relationship, whether it's with a sibling or a parent, or with a partner, or even with a business colleague that's misogynistic. And it's important that you recognize that this is not normal, this is not acceptable, this is something that is disrespectful to you as a woman. And you need to be able to hold your power against such treatment. Because if it is directed at you on an ongoing basis, whether it's, so let's take for instance a marriage, and you're in a relationship with a man that has a disrespect for or disregard for women in general, he has a contempt for women, he treats you as if you are inferior to him, as if you are intellectually inferior, as if you are weaker. So there's a variety of different ways in which you can be disrespected from the misogynistic point of view. But it's really important that you recognize that this is a personal attack really on you, even though it may not come from the misogynistic person consciously doing this, because it's so habitual and so inherent in their thinking pattern. They would do this just regularly, habitually, but that constant onslaught against your own person is annihilating, it's minimizing, and it is undermining of you. So it's very vital that you recognize misogyny, recognize its effect or impact on you as a being, and then deal with it. So I often say nobody is a mind reader. So you may be feeling really hurt by a particular comment or something that was said by your partner. But if you've said nothing about it, if you haven't brought it up and said that hurt me, or I found that offensive, or that felt like an insult to me as a woman, then you're actually tacitly agreeing with it. So it's really important that you recognize that you have to, this is your responsibility to your own I am, to actually deal with it and mention when somebody has made a misogynistic remark or has slighted you as a woman, that you actually address it in an appropriate way. Just let the person know, I found that hurtful to me as a woman. I found that degrading. I found that insulting. I found that disrespectful. Whatever it is that you are feeling, that you actually mention it to them. And if you do it regularly enough, it's going to bring their attention to the fact that, first of all, you recognize the misogynistic streak, Second of all, that you're not just going to be in agreement with it, that in actual fact it's disrespecting you as a person and it's your responsibility to deal with it. In self-respect, that because you respect yourself enough that you're prepared to address it. And thirdly, that it needs to change. That you don't need to put up with it on an ongoing basis, and that you will not put up with it on an ongoing basis because it's not normal, it's not healthy. And particularly in a marriage where you have the husband perhaps that has a misogynistic way of dealing with women in general, because he's the reference for his children, his son, his daughter, they pick up on that and they think that that is normal behavior. And it's really important that it gets understood very clearly that this needs to change. And very often the person, the perpetrator, the one that's doing it, has inherited that from his father, who inherited it from his father. And if you go back generationally, women were discriminated against. They were treated as the inferior being, as the one that wasn't as intellectual, as the one that didn't have as many rights. But that's then and this is now. So in the present, it's not very applicable. And it should not be acceptable. It's something that needs to be addressed so future generations recognize the value of women, the beauty of women, the magnificence and uniqueness and abilities of women. And so that attitude towards women changes. The brother will treat his sister better. The husband will treat his wife better. And just in general, that women get treated in a way that is equally respectful. Give respect and receive respect. That's how human beings should all be treating each other, irrespective of color, of race, of gender. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and the next topic I will be discussing will be the internal misogynist, because this can actually be a very difficult internal conflict that can go on within a woman, and it's an important subject to look at and address. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please like it and share it. There may be somebody who's in a misogynistic relationship that doesn't recognize it as such, and that needs to be able to address it more appropriately. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a really good day, and we'll chat again soon. Take care now. Bye so long.